Hello, my name is Madelyn Bowman, and I am going to discuss my paper, Contemporary Perceptions of Women of Color Leaders in Higher Education. My subtext is, how are you doing, sis? So there are three things that I want to discuss. My research showed that women of color continue to report instances of stereotyping, discrimination, questioning of competence, and assumptions. And these are women of color that are in leadership positions. When I discuss the current environment, I hypothesize that the current legal environment may decrease job satisfaction. And when we look at everything holistically, just recently in the last legislative session, the state of Texas legislative session, the regular session, some decisions were made about diversity and inclusion and eliminating diversity and inclusion from state colleges and universities and community colleges. So colleges can no longer have a diversity and inclusion officer. Colleges can no longer consider diversity and inclusion when they are seeking to hire. And in secondary schools, there has been an attempt to look at curriculum itself, what is said, and specifically making sure that nothing that is taught makes any child feel bad. And apparently, any child is defined as children that are not children of color. This is translated to higher education as well. So the state of Florida has also had such legislation, and its governor, who is currently running for president, has made a lot of hay about talking about how diversity and inclusion doesn't need to be included in curriculum in secondary schools or in higher education. And finally, our United States Supreme Court heard a case in its last session called Students for Fair Admission against versus Harvard. And in this case, it was a combined case that looked at the affirmative action programs of Harvard University and the University of North Carolina, both of which had affirmative action programs that complied with common law, which said that you could look at race as or ethnicity as part of a holistic examination of students, and seeking to have diversity in those students that are being admitted. Well, the Supreme Court said that that was no longer allowable. And so I just look at how leaders have to navigate this environment, how they navigate how students are feeling, and how they navigate leading, being a leader. And I am concerned. And I am particularly concerned about women of color who have to deal with stereotyping, discrimination, questioning of competence, and assumptions in this new environment that seems to add a new layer. So in this study, I used mostly qualitative questions. Certainly, there is going to have to be some norming to make sure that the individuals that are included in the study, hopefully 25 to 50, are women and that they identify as women of color. and it literally will ask questions about how they feel, how people are being perceived, and looking to get a narrative so that the hypothesis can be tested. I have so enjoyed working on this topic this semester, and I thank you for your time.